Hi, I'm Nick Haymaker, and this is the top tech, not just of 2009, but of the entire decade. This list is in no specific order. This is just things that I think are the best inventions of the last 10 years. First off is the netbook. Very small, very lightweight, very portable, anywhere from 7 to 12-inch screens, fully compatible with the brand new operating system Windows 7, runs like a charm. This one here is the Acer Aspire 1. It will actually run for about 6 hours on its battery. There are some that actually last up to 12. The next item on the list revolutionized the way we play games. That is the Nintendo Wii. The Nintendo Wii, instead of having standard controllers where you just mash buttons, you actually have a remote where you can actually go bowling or sword fighting or anything that you can literally imagine. There's been a game that's come out for it on the Wii, and it's revolutionized the way that we've done gaming. Even fitness, it has a balance board that it came with. You can actually do aerobics and strength training and stuff, fitness-wise. The next couple items I don't actually have, but I'll tell you about them. The next one is the Amazon Kindle, which is revolutionizing the way that we purchase and read books. It is its own device, but it also has applications for Windows Mobile and iPhone and several other platforms where you can read a book and whatever page you left off on, any of the other devices sync up to the internet and you can catch up where you left off. So no more, messing with bookmarks or folding over page corners. It all just works. The next item is the BlackBerry, the very first smartphone that could do more than just make phone calls or, it did more than just basic phone calls and text messaging. It allowed you to check email, allowed you to keep a full contacts list. It allowed you to surf the internet on your phone. The next item on the list, the iPhone. The iPhone came along, and whereas the BlackBerry was mainly aimed at business people, the iPhone sort of brought all that to consumers. It was a very simplified device. It allowed you to do basic things out of the box, but then the iPhone eventually upgraded its software that allowed you to run 1,000,001 apps, which sparked the entire application store, app store revolution, which is being used by some operating systems, like the latest version of Ubuntu Linux today. So it sparked a nice revolution. The next item is TiVo. TiVo changes the way that we watch TV. All of us, we used to have to sit down and I have to be home by a certain point in time because, VCR tapes were unreliable and messy and all that. TiVo came along, you could pause live TV, you could record shows, it would record shows that it recommended for you if you wanted it to that were similar to the shows you were recording, except record an entire series, just one episode from a specific time to time. It let you watch TV when you wanted to watch it, not when the TV stations wanted you to watch it. And that has gone to Windows Media Center and Replay TV and many other devices of the sort. The next item is HD TV and Blu-ray. HD TVs did exist in the last decade. However, they have become massively popular in this decade, especially with the digital TV switch. The digital TV switch sort of forced some people to go that direction if they didn't want to mess with a converter box. But at the same time, people were moving that way anyhow because so much better picture, all digital quality, so surround sound embedded, and HDMI also helped that because it's one cable instead of 3 or even up to 5 connecting back to your TV. Blu-ray is also thrown in with that. Well, I'm still sort of iffy on the entire Blu-ray technology because I still think it's too expensive. I think that it is a good idea. I don't know if it will survive as an optical medium. I think some of the ideas from Blu-ray, though high definition, will carry over to streaming over the internet, which I think will lead us into, will be the popular thing for the next decade. The next thing I do actually have, and that is GPS unit. Early in the decade, the government opened up the GPS satellites so as that anyone, any civilian could use them instead of just being for government use. Well, starting about 2 years ago, there was a massive explosion of GPS devices that were $100 or less on the market. And so practically everyone owns a GPS device now, and there are even some cell phones that have GPS built into them so as that you don't have to carry a separate device, but GPS devices. The next item, we actually own several. I'm recording with a digital video camera, but digital cameras. I have 2 of them here. 10 years ago, most people were still using film, had to go to the store, get their film developed. Digital cameras came to be, and now you can review your pictures. If you don't like it, you can delete it right on the spot. Take pictures instantly anywhere you are, and basically go home, plug it in, and print them out yourself. Or you can still take it to the store and pop the card in and get your pictures printed professionally, but much, much easier. Holds many more pictures. A standard roll of film used to hold 24 pictures. These things can hold thousands and thousands with a big enough memory card, so you never run out of space. The next one is what I believe the next most important invention of this decade, and that is the iPod. The iPod and iTunes Music Store changed the way we do music. Before the decade, you used to go up to somebody and sort of like, I want an MP3 player, and they didn't even know what that meant. It was gibberish to them. You say the same thing today. Some people may not know MP3 player, but if you go up to even your grandma and say, hey, I want an iPod, they at least know generally what an iPod is and what it does. It has to deal with music. iPod is so popular, there have been many, many parodies with the whole thing, with iPod and all that. But iPod plus iTunes, and the iTunes Music Store, actually through the decade, managed to climb. It is the #1 seller of music. Retail and online, either or, it sells more than any of them. Finally, the last item, which I believe to be the most important invention of this decade, flash drives. I have no idea where I would be without a flash drive. Back in the day, using CDRWs, CDRs, and floppy disk, slow, unreliable. If the CDs got scratched, they didn't read. If the floppies got too close to a magnet or they got written too many times, they didn't read. Flash drives, very quick, hold a lot of storage, pretty much indestructible. There are stories all over the internet of people who have flash drives that they have been ran over by cars or something of the sort, like washing machine, all sorts of horror stories, and they still work. Your data is still on it. They are so much better than what we were using last decade, and so I am so thankful that we have flash drives. That's my list of the top inventions of the decade. Choose to disagree, agree, whatever you will. Post in the comments and let me know what you think the most important inventions of the past decade were.